In this lesson, we're going to cover really all the major components. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to really start writing your book right away. And we're going to cover many topics and how we're going to use ChatGPT in this. And then the rest of the course will build out on this too. But this is a critical lesson. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to use ChatGPT, and I'm going to demonstrate for you how to use ChatGPT for things like coming up with ideas and topic generation and idea generation, researching for our book, and we need to do some research, outline our book, writing different types of content. We'll actually write some of the content, a little bit of it, just to show you how it works with ChatGPT. Titles, and come up with excellent titles and subtitles, and description for a book that we can put if it's an ebook and we need a description, or for the back cover of a book or something like that. We're going to do that as well, even an author bio as we wrap up this section too. So again, at the end of this section, you'll be able to start using stuff immediately that you can start applying right away, and then we build out from that throughout the rest of the course. Okay, I'm over at chat.openai.com. That's basically where ChatGPT is. We have upcoming lessons that are going to tell you all about how to create an account and free versions or pay versions and how to use it and how the interface looks like. So don't worry, we're going to come up on that. Well, we do have things like a light mode here, so I could switch it to light mode, or I could go back into dark mode where I was at. Also, we'll talk about upgrading to Plus, which is the paid version of ChatGPT. Everything I'm showing you right here now is on the free version, and so you'll see how responsive and fast it is. You'll be amazed at that. But this is the free version of ChatGPT, and we have a lesson about, if you want to upgrade to the pay version and what that costs and what's all involved with that, and is it worth it to actually address that. So let's go dive in, and we're just going to start creating a book right now. And we're going to start with like topic ideas and research, and then we're going to start writing outlines and content and everything. So you'll see everything, of the core parts of creating your book with ChatGPT right here in this lesson, so you can start using it right away. So first off, where all the magic happens is right down here. Right where you see this kind of prompt line here and the little submission arrow plane here, submission arrow, right here is where you type in your text, right? So your text is going to type in right there. And it's what you type in that then generates a response based on that text to give you what you're looking for, your needs, or your information, your content, your research, whatever it might be. So let's start broad with like getting ideas, and then we're going to go through research, and then we're actually going to write some of the contents and outline everything in our book. We're going to go step by step here. Let's pretend, so we're just going to pretend. So let's pretend that we're going to do a nonfiction book, all right? So later I've got lessons on writing children's books and fiction books, and we're going to cover all that too and some lessons there. But let's say this will be a nonfiction book. And I know my area of expertise is like personal finance, investing, and that kind of stuff. So let's say I'm thinking, oh, I want to write a personal finance book. Many of you might be like, I know exactly what I want to write. But for many of you, it might be you're not sure, you want to get some ideas. Well, ChatGPT is great for idea generation. So I could ask it, like, if you want to be friendly, you could say, please, please give me some ideas for a book, and then whatever you want it to be. Now, if you start too broad, you're going to get broad responses. If you get something more specific, you're going to get more specific responses. So let me demonstrate that for you. So if I say just, please give me some ideas for a book on personal finance, personal finance is a big category, right? So that's going to, I'll just hit the submission here, or I could hit the enter key, and you'll think for a second here, but look how fast it is. It's already coming back with stuff. It's almost giving me a little bit like title stuff, like the money mindset and money mastery to financial freedom. But this is all like, getting different ideas, frugal life. So it's about budgeting or whatever it might be, side hustles, whatever it might be. And you can see this kind of play out here. But you can see that's pretty broad, right? It's talking about debt. It's talking about side hustles. It's talking about financial freedom. It's talking about all sorts of things, in some of these early ideas. So I need to give it more specifics. Let's say my specialty is actually more investing. I might say, well, more specific to investing. And let's say specific to the stock market, right? So let's say, please give me topic ideas on stock market investing. And stock market investing, right? So we'll just do that. And like maybe different topics or subgenres within stock market investing, because you could start real broad, or you could get narrower in terms of your different genres or the different things that you're looking to do. And usually ChatGPT is a little faster than this. Even in the free version, though, this is pretty fast, right? So if you know the topic that you're talking about, you'll kind of have an idea of like what might be generating ideas. Like, oh, do I want to talk about fundamental analysis? I'm sure for many of you, you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds boring, right? Oh, don't worry, you got technical analysis. That may be boring for many of you too, right? And so it's going to give me all these different things and a little description of it too. So I was like, oh yeah, technical analysis. That's the thing with the charts, right? Stock charts and trends and all that, or investing for beginners. So it's giving me some ideas, and I could be starting to think from this, oh, okay, well, maybe I want to do a beginner's thing, but maybe I want to do something that's, more than just beginners. Maybe I want to be more, more specific. We got stock picking strategies, whatever it is. So let's just stop generating here. You get the idea that's giving me ideas or topics. And let's say I'm interested in dividend investing. Dividends is a type of investing where if you own that stock, you get paid money just for owning the stock, right? So a subgenre, a niche, dividend investing. So, this I can get from getting these different topic ideas. Next, we can use it for research, right? We use ChatGPT for research, and we're talking about dividend investing in this example. So maybe I'm curious, like, I am going to write about dividend investing. What are some good websites for research? Or I'll just say some good websites. And I'm not the best typist in the world. You can probably tell that. And ChatGPT knows I'm not a good typist. Right? It knows websites are spelled wrong. It's still going to give me the answers, right? See how now this came back a lot faster, right? And being that I know this topic, I know that, yeah, these are good sites, right? Doing Seeking Alpha, Simply Safe Dividends. I know these, like NASDAQ, Morningstar. These are some good sites, right? But maybe that's not enough. I'd say, please give me 5 more. If that's not enough, ask it for more. It'll give you more, right? And so it'll give you 5 more websites or 10 more websites or whatever it might be in terms of your research that you want to do. So we've got some ideas for a topic. We're niching down into dividends in this particular example. And we've got some ideas of websites, right? So like Investopedia or whatever. Now maybe I'm interested in some other books that might be in that genre too. So, what are some top books on dividend investing? Because I might want to use that for my research too and my own education on that. Certainly if I was going to take something from a book, I would want to cite that, just like any type of thing, as far as sourcing and attribution, all that, you guys know all that. But here, you'll start giving ideas of books around things like dividends. And ChatGPT is not perfect, by the way. It does make errors and stuff, so you want to double check stuff. Like this should all be books that have dividend in them, like Dividend Growth, Dividend Playbook, Dividend Still Don't Lie, whatever it might be. And it gives you a little description of the little book of big dividends, all that kind of stuff. If it was giving me back stuff like around growth stocks or different types of stocks or value stocks, that might not be what I was looking for. So you might need to be looking at your prompt or just, get more detailed on that. So now I've got an idea. I've got some good research resources I can start playing from or playing with. Now, for a lot of folks, what they'll do is they'll start asking for a title, right? They're like, oh, give me a title for my book. And maybe people like to have the title first and work from that. And that's okay. But I found with ChatGPT and how I like to kind of outline and get the book out of there and then go from a title, because then ChatGPT is going to even have more information to work out a better title. If I ask for a title now, it might not be what I'm looking for. So I like to start with an outline. So I can ask ChatGPT, give me, you don't have to say please, you don't have to be as nice as me, I guess. Give me an outline for this book. Let's see how it does. I didn't tell it was my dividend book. Well, how's it going to know which book I'm talking about, right? It's because I'm already in the chat. It's your personal assistant, right? It's your artificial intelligence assistant, your AI assistant. But you can see it should be coming back and is with things about dividend investing because we're inside this chat. Now, this isn't working right now. It happens with ChatGPT. Parts sometimes go up and down, so it's newer type technology. But it'll store your chats here on the left-hand side. So I can have this and I can go back to it, assuming the site isn't down in that part like it is today. But you can see here, it's creating me a nice outline. Introduction, fundamentals, importance, strategies, all sorts of stuff, building a diversified portfolio. So here I have a nice outline at a high level, right? I just asked it for a big, basic outline, at a high level outline, right? So, but I could have it redo it and said, please redo with more detail, right? Because we're going to use that outline to build out our chapters and our sections and our subsections of our book. So the more detail we can get on this, the better. And then we're going to use this to do the content, right? So it's already answering this. Absolutely. Sure, I can do that for you. And here it's now building this out. Now think about your book. This is just the example, but think about your book. And, with let's say a fiction book, you might be building out, asking different things like an outline and what the story arc might be, right? You're talking about, boy finds girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back, that kind of stuff, or horror or whatever it might be, or genres. But in a fiction book, this really works in a nonfiction book, this works very, very well. So you see how it's really, getting more detail. Like, let's look at strategies here. It was like these 3 little bullet points, right? Just some 3 little bullet points in section 4 here. So we go back down to 4 here, we're getting a little bit more detail around that, right? So now we can copy and paste that, let's say, into Google Docs or Word or just on a notepad or whatever, in OneNote, somewhere, or put it right up into Kindle, Kindle Publishing, whatever you're looking to do. We're now building this out. So ChatGPT has really built out a big outline and really helped capture things. Like, it's easy to forget about dividend reinvestment plans, for example, DRIPs, which is a little bit more unique thing. So it's capturing all that, right? So then I can ask it to build on this. But let's say it's missing a chapter. Maybe it's something I'm not seeing something. There was stuff about fundamentals of dividend investing, but it's still pretty broad. And I could say, add a chapter on dividend ratios. Right, so I'm not seeing the ratios. I'm seeing it under fundamentals. This is a little inside baseball and investing, or inside stuff. But I want to have more around ratios, right? So I want to add a chapter on ratios, and let's see where it puts it. Maybe I put it right at the end here. Actually, all I wanted was that. Maybe I could have told it you don't need to redo all this, but it did, so it's nice in order, I guess. And it's building out this, different stuff, and it should have a section on ratios. And then I'm looking for stuff on, more related to these ratios and things. How many chapters in my book here? I had 8. So let's see if we're almost done here. Yeah, I don't see ratios. Did they miss it? See, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. It should be in here in the fundamentals, right? So maybe it's right in here and all that too. Okay, so it's not perfect. This is the thing where this is where you know your topic and all that, right? So explanations are how they work, advantages and all that. So here's my outline. All right, so that's good. Now let's start writing, right? And we can write right from this outline just from scratch, or we can use ChatGPT to help unblock our unblock our writer's block and just really get us started. So I could just tell it to like here's the introduction.